Welcome back. Let us take out some time to touch base with some news making headlines. The ordeals of former Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello after he was declared wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission continue as the Inspector General of Police Olukayode Egbetoku has also ordered the immediate withdrawal of all police officers attached to him. An internal security document issued by the Nigerian Immigration Service has also placed Mr. Bello under scrutiny. All this has further intensified the legal pressure surrounding the former governor.
And 29 suspected members of the Yoruba nation have been arraigned before the Ibadan Chief Magistrate Court for their involvement and roles in the aborted invasion of the Oyo State Government Secretariat on Saturday, April 13th.
And the Federal High Court in Lagos State has granted businessman and socialite Pascal Okechukwu, popularly known as Cubana Chief Priest, a 10 million naira bail with 2 shorty likes in sum. The celebrity had pleaded not guilty to tampering and abusing the naira during his trial.
And the Nigerian Integrated Hydrological Service Agency issues a warning revealing that 148 local government areas spanning 31 states and the Federal Capital Territory are positioned within the high risk of flood zones.
One needs to be quite careful there.
Exactly.
And the federal government has planned the immediate production of 31 metric tons of grain. This comes as part of a series of critical pathways to solving the food security challenges in the country and achieve food sufficiency and global food security.
Interesting one. And in business, the International Monetary Fund has reviewed upwards Nigeria's economic growth forecast for 2024 from 3% to 3.3%.
And the electronic payment transactions in Nigeria rose to 234.4 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2024 as more Nigerians went cashless over the period.
Interesting. And outside Nigeria, a tragic landslide in the Democratic Republic of Congo has claimed the lives of at least 12 people, including 9 women, 3 men and a child. It has also left over 50 people missing.
And Sudan marks 1 year of conflict as the toll on civilians is staggering. Over 8 million people have been forced to flee their homes, and nearly half of the population are in need of humanitarian assistance.
I hope they will be able to get that. Interesting. Seriously. I really hope
there have been a lot of crises and around African countries, and we don't know how much these will have effect over the years. The effect is not just immediate, but over the years, and it's also devastating as to how these have a direct effect rather, on the people of these countries. When it comes to war and humanitarian crisis, it is first of all the women and children that are always the first casualties. And these are deemed to be vulnerable people and persons. And it is just quite unfortunate that when this happens, it just hits directly without warning.
I think to a large extent, all of these issues, of course, the leadership of the African, of the different African nations need to put into consideration how all of these, series of terrorism, series of wars happens around, and they're able to nip it on the bud. It is very, very crucial that this happens. And let's turn our attention to housing matters now. You are aware that in most developed economies, the housing sector is seen as an important sector for stimulating economic growth. In Nigeria, however, access to affordable housing has largely remained unfulfilled during the vast majority, most especially in the middle and the lower class of the society.
The issue of housing deficit has grown from bad to worse, and successive governments from the time of Nigeria's independence 59 years ago have been grappling with this problem. But it appears that successive governments have not only succeeded in scratching the surface rather, of this challenge, especially as the country's population grows exponentially, making government's efforts in this regard look ineffective. To address this matter of urgency, let's bring you an excerpt from a chat I had earlier with the Managing Director and Chief Executive of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Shehu Osidi, where he laid to rest some of the fears expressed by some Nigerians. Take a listen.
Well, thank you very much. I'm settling down pretty fast. The reason being that I have been in this system, so it's not new to me. So far, so good. I've had my career in banking largely. I spent 20 years in the commercial bank before I joined the Federal Mortgage Bank in 2010. So I've been here like 10 years until I retired last year. Following my appointment as Chief of Staff to the Honorable Minister, so I retired as a General Manager. And so now I'm back as the Chief Executive, so settling down has been pretty easy. Well, I would say I'm very, very confident. It is generally said that a problem well defined is a problem half solved. So coming from within, I already know what the issues are, what the challenges are. And that is why I was able, by the grace of God, to hit the ground running. Well, I would say yes and no. Yes, because quite a number of Nigerians have benefited from the products offered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. You know, we are the only institution in this country that offers mortgages at single digit, specifically at 6%. You can't get that anywhere else. And so a lot of Nigerians have benefited from our system, from the bank. For those who have not benefited from the bank, due to one challenge or the other, some Nigerians do not know so much about the activities of the Federal Mortgage Bank, understandably, because we probably may not have done so much of sensitization to create awareness among Nigerians about the opportunities that are available in the bank. And we must also admit that there are a couple of Nigerians that have also made attempts to access our facilities, and they were not able to get such facilities due to some reason or the other. So that's why I said the answer is yes and no. Yeah, coming from within, like I said, I understand the issues. And one of the things that we first decided to address is the issue of automation. Over the years, the operations of the bank have been largely manual. And so our processes take so long. People apply for loans, they take forever for those loans to be approved. And so we are now in the process of deploying a core banking application technology, which is about 95% completed already. Once that is done, our operations will be online real time. And which means that we are taking seriously the issue of turnaround time. So we are able to respond more quickly and more efficiently to the demands of our customers. Yeah, like I said, that is one area that we have known, that we have not done a lot of sensitization to create awareness among Nigerians. You know, housing is a capital-intensive activity. And so if you do not have the opportunity of mortgages, not many Nigerians will be able to access houses. So we are rolling out a number of platforms to create awareness. For instance, in the next couple of weeks, we will resume what we used to have, which we call Everybody Deserves a Home, which is a weekly TV program on both NTA and TVC. We will resume these activities that will create a lot of sensitization on the products that are offered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, how you can access these products, the processes that you need to go with, the requirements that you need to fulfill, and so on and so forth. We're also engaging several stakeholders, including the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, which is also a body that represents employers in the private sector. Then we are also accessing the informal sector, reaching out to the informal sector through the instrumentality of cooperative societies. So we have cluster groups, and we sensitize these cluster groups, and we have actually created a product for this segment of the market, where what we call the cooperative housing development loan, where individuals form cooperatives and then they are able to design the kind of houses they want by themselves. They cost those houses according to their income levels, and then they approach the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to take a loan to build houses for their members. And the interesting thing is that when these houses are constructed, we again create mortgage loans for the individual members or the cooperatives to buy these houses and then pay over time. So we are rolling out massively in terms of our enlightenment programs, both in the electronic and the print media, and especially using social media handles to reach out to our clients. You need affordability in the face of rising costs. And like you know, affordability is a function of two variables, cost and income. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, income levels are very low, and then prices are escalating. So what do we do? I think the first step is what the government has tried to do by appealing to producers of building materials. You recall that I think about 2 weeks or so ago, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Development had a session and engagement with producers of cement in the country, appealing to them to look at ways by which they can.
And joining us